Let's just make sure real quick we didn't side out the Azusa. All right. That's right, we didn't make any sideboarding changes, so don't need to be worried about that, but that's okay. Hello guys, and welcome. We are here for match 4 with the list you see on screen right in front of you. If you're not familiar with this deck list, then check out match 1, where I cover in detail the choices that were made for this list and what new and wacky cards we were playing. I will not be going into that here. We are currently 2-1, hoping to get some more wins, but if we don't, who cares? We're here for the fun and for the learning, and we're here to test out to see if Field Trip is any good in Modern. I will have some thoughts for the deck list at the end of the league, so stick around for that. But for right now, let's just jump straight into the match. Alrighty, let's hop in here for the match. On the draw, playing against 6th. Very interesting name. We have a hand with almost no lands. We're on the draw, but we don't even get to play our 1-drop on turn 1, so I think this is a pretty clear mulligan. Well, we have a turn 3 Field Trip kind of hand. I'm not a huge fan of this one either, if I'm being completely honest. We have Titan mana, though, and we do have a Summoner's Pact. I kind of feel like we can mulligan to 5 and try to find something a little stronger than this. Yeah, I think I want to mulligan this too. It's just very weak. Well, I mean, this hand has potential. We still have Titan mana ready to go. We have a bunch of untapped sources, so we'll definitely keep. We got to bottom 2 of these cards, and I think the Azusa is a pretty clear bottom. But one other card needs to go, and I think it's probably got to be this Radiant. Unfortunately, it's an untapped source, and we gain some life, but these green sources will be pivotal for activating Garenbrig here, and if we do find an Amulet, then we'll be able to use Crumbling Vestige as a 2-mana source, and be able to cast a Titan even further ahead of schedule than planned. Alright, there's a Titan. It's a good start. We'll just play out this Garenbrig and pass. As we know, we want this one in play, and the basics will almost always be guaranteed to enter untapped. So, just get the Garenbrig out of the way. Don't worry about it. We see our opponent on a Mountain, Cycle Forgotten Cave. Interesting. Could this be Dredge again? I kind of feel like it's more likely to be a prowess deck of some sort. Mana Confluence. Feels like Dredge to me. Thrilling Discovery. Cathartic Reunion. Okay, well, we've gotten paired against Dredge a lot, which I guess doesn't really surprise me given the printing of Thrilling Discovery. They just drew 3 cards straight up with no Dredgers. Okay. Alright, let's play a Forced Out here and pass. I mean, we're on a very slow hand against Dredge. The turn 4 Titan, at least we will potentially have Dryad triggers. That is assuming we can cast Titan in a couple turns by drawing a land source of some sort or an amulet. Thrilling Discovery, okay. See if they have Dredges this time. Yeah, there they go. They got Stinkweed Imp and Golgari Thug. So they're finally... Excuse me. So they're finally doing the Dredge thing. And they're getting Narcomoebas and a prize amalgam, it looks like. 2 prize amalgams. Okay. A board state. That's fine, I guess. Yeah, we're going to be a tad slow here, and our opponent can conflagrate to kill our Dryad if they so desire it, so... I don't know. Could be kind of rough for us. They can even escape Ox and conflagrate this upcoming turn, so I think we're just a little too slow on this one. We will valiantly play it out. And I guess we just put Gruul Turf into play. I mean, that's the only way to be able to cast Titan this upcoming turn, regardless of whether Dryad stays in play or not. Being that we did not do anything until turn 3, I would not be surprised that we might just lose, but we'll see. Does our opponent have a 4th land drop? That's definitely something to consider. I assume they cast Ox? Conflagrate? I don't know. I'll let them figure it out. Cathartic Reunion. Whew. They're digging deep. But I mean, we can resolve a Titan and not only get Valakut triggers, but also Bojuka Bog our opponents, so... I suppose if they had another land and immediately conflagrated away our Dryad, then we could be in some trouble, but... We got another Narcomoeba on the table. We got another Prize Amalgam coming back at our opponent's instep right here. So far, not so bad. We'll see if they have the 4th land. Well, our opponent's been paused here for a while. I will let you know when they return. Our opponent says, sorry, I received a phone call. That's fine. Blood gas coming back. It looks like our opponent is going to be able to conflagrate away our Dryad. I would assume that's what's about to happen. Maybe they just go for the Ox. I don't know. Maybe they decide it's worth it. I doubt it, though. This feels like a conflagrate. Yep, there's the conflagrate. Pitching 4 dredgers. Yikes. Okay. So we're taking 8 here. 6. Okay, so if we play Titan, get... Oh, man, that's all of the amalgams, too. Field Trip, I don't think you're helping us here. Titan getting Bog and Radiant puts us to 8. We block and take way more than lethal. Yeah, so we're just dead. Cool. Awesome. Alright, well, yeah, against Dredge. Previously, the sideboard plan was hit submit. And I think that still applies, so I'm gonna hit submit. Opponent says apologies. No big deal. Alright, we'll be on the play, of course. I mean, we get a turn 2 Explorer. That's about it. We have all untap sources thanks to this Windswept Heath, but... I mean... We could, if we top deck the 3-drop, play it on turn 3 and have turn 4 Titan off of Garenbrig activation, which is good. Plus, we get a redraw from the Explorer. Like, this hand's not fantastic, but it's not bad. I kind of feel like we could do better on a mulligan, but this hand's also not weak to something like Ancient Grudge. I'm gonna try it, I think. It could be wrong. Taking chances here against Dredge, but that's okay. Turn 4 Titan on the play seems like it could be good enough. That's just how I feel about it. See what our opponent does. Nothing on turn 1. Alright. We can beat nothing. I assume that means our opponent's going to have the instant speed when the haggle. Doesn't change our plan. Turn 2 Explorer. Bam. Make it happen. Our opponent fetches. Is this a haggle? Could it be? Oh, tap to Sacred Foundry. Okay. Well, now we have a literal forest as an untapped source. We'll explore here. Maybe we find... I don't know what we could find, actually. I guess Amulet into Bounce Land would be good. There's a Dryad, so now we don't have to pack for a 3-drop, which is fantastic. So next turn we can play Dryad, and the turn after pack for Titan, and potentially just win? Potentially? Dryad would allow us to get double Valakut off of the Titan ETB trigger, and that would be 12 damage, and then play land, which would be 18. Our opponent's going to 21 here, thanks to Thrilling Discovery. Alright. Blood Gas not gonna be... So no Dredgers again. Interesting. I guess we're pretty glad to see that. We'll play out a Forest and a Dryad here. Forest first, so we get both land drops. Do we want to play... I guess we have to play another land so we can cast our Titan this upcoming turn, so I'll play out the Garenbrig. Gonna hope that we can top deck another land so we can just play Titan, get double Valakut, play land, but then we might just lose to our opponent having removal for our Dryad, so we'll have to see where we're going from here. Another Thrilling Discovery, so now they might have the Dredgers. We shall see. Thug and Amalgam, okay. Say Dredge. No second Dredger here, so... Interesting. They have the land for double Blood Gas triggering, so they're going to have a little bit of a board state, but nothing that a 6/6 Trampler can't handle. Interesting. Now, the question becomes, do we want to bog our opponent's graveyard at all? Because the only thing relevant here is a single conflagrate. Actually, I'm pretty sure we don't. Depending on whether we do draw the land. Okay, so we just have lethal here if our opponent doesn't have the card Lightning Axe. If they do have Lightning Axe, we could be in a little bit of trouble. But they're definitely going to have Conflagrate in a turn from now. So, I mean, we'll Pact, get a Titan, because obviously that's what we're doing. We'll even play the Titan. We don't have to know exactly what it is that we're going to search for with our Titan ETB to go ahead and play it, so that part can be done pretty effortlessly. Now the question is, do we get Bog and Valakut to play around them having the Lightning Axe? I don't know the answer to that question. I kind of feel like going for lethal, but I also feel like we're ahead enough that there's no reason to take the chance. We even have a bounce land to pick up Bog. Opponent says the old border on that looks great. I agree. Thank you very much. I feel like we're supposed to play conservatively here and get Bog and Valakut. Could we have one otherwise? Maybe. But this way we get to permanently deal with a couple of amalgams, I guess. I don't know if it's significantly different to deal with amalgams versus the Bloodghasts, but alright, well, our opponent scoops it up. That works, I suppose. It's seemingly Bog plus Valakut was lethal too, so alright, we'll make our sideboard plan go into action by hitting Submit Deck, and we'll play game 3. We have a turn 2 Amulet kind of hand. Interesting. If we draw another 1-drop, we could play it. An Explorer we could also play. And we have turn 3 Titan if we draw either Azusa or Titan, but we won't be getting any kind of Valakut triggers, but that's probably fine. Considering we can draw either Azusa or Pact or another 1-drop to make this hand even faster, I think we are supposed to keep this. Probably leading on Talari West, so we could play Garenbrig and play a green 1-drop like a Scout if we draw it. Or we could lead on Garenbrig and then just play Garenbrig after, but there's the Titan. So we do have the Pact for Azusa plan to get a turn 3 Titan into play here. I am just going to go ahead and play the T-West, I suppose. Next turn, we'll play Amulet off the T-West and then play Garenbrig. And then the turn after, we can Sanctuary, leaving Garenbrig untapped and floating blue, white, green. Make 3 mana, Pact for Azusa, play Sanctuary twice more. Use it for the 4 mana from the 2 Sanctuaries to activate the untapped Garenbrig and play Titan. That is assuming our opponent doesn't have interaction for Azusa. If they do, then maybe we take a different line. Or at least if it looks like they're holding up interaction. They could be holding up a Lightning Axe. Flame Axe. That's a different card. Alright, our opponent is holding up a mana here, which very well could be Lightning Axe. I think we're still playing Amulet and Garenbrig here. Execute the plan. We'll hit 6 here, and pass it back to our opponent. This is one of the many lines that Garenbrig has added it to the deck. By having a Garenbrig in play, when you enter your turn 3, you can Pact for Azusa, play it, and still be able to play Titan, which is something that you couldn't previously do before the printing of Garenbrig. So, like I said, it's one of the many things that Castle Garenbrig adds. And if you are not familiar with the lines to cast Titan, then you need to check out my patterns video. I will leave a link in the description below. Our opponent finds a Creeping Chill. They have an Ox, I suppose. It's not a bad one. I assume that's what they're about to cast here as well. They do have a Imp in the graveyard and a Loam as well. Okay, so they're going deep, but if they don't get anything into play here, we can just bog away everything they've got. So they get to cast a Chill, but we can bog away everything here, including a Conflagrate, a Bloodghast, and Amalgam. I don't know if they have another land drop, potentially. That would allow them to get Bloodghast into play. It looks like they don't. And they're not holding up Lightning Axe. So, yeah, I think we're good to go here. Let's play our Sanctuary. We can always yield to our Amulet triggers when there's only 1 in play, but as soon as we find a second Amulet, we would need to unyield here. But no need to worry about that right now. Pick up the Sanctuary, Pact. Let's just make sure real quick we didn't side out the Azusa. Alright. That's right, we didn't make any sideboarding changes, so don't need to be worried about that, but that's okay. We'll get our Azusa. Hence why there's 1 in the deck, by the way. We'll play a Sanctuary, and then we'll play a Sanctuary, and it'll be Titan time. The plan in action. We'll haste off of Boros Garrison and Slayer Stronghold because it's extremely free to do so, and then we'll leave our green sources in play for paying for Summoner's Pact, by the way. Then we'll get Bajuka Bog and something else, and be in great shape. I mean, I guess our opponent will have an Ox in play, but, I mean, it's the best we got. It is the best that we have. So Garrison plus Stronghold. We'll make some untaps happen. We'll haste this bad guy right here. And we'll pick up, I guess, the Stronghold. Leave as much mana in play as possible. We'll swing. Yup. And here we definitely went Bog. And the other one could be pretty much anything. I think Breeding Pool makes sense, so we can make enough blue mana to transmute to Talari West. And it gives us another green source to play around some kind of crazy effect our opponent could have to potentially, like, destroy a land. Like, say they had, of all crazy things, a Tectonic Edge in their Dredge list, because they can loop it with Life in the Loam. Then we can still have double green to pay, so we won't die to our pact. Couldn't play around Blood Moon anyways. This also lets us play our Tribe Scout post-combat, which is just absolute value. Now they could have all kinds of effects to destroy our lands, and we could still just flash in... Well, okay, maybe not all kinds of effects, but we could still flash in a green source in response if we needed to. Our opponent mills exactly Narcomoeba Prize Amalgam. That's a pretty humorous set of 2 cards to mill over with the Shriekhorn, I dare say. And we win the match. Well, look at that. Like I've said before, the Dredge matchup, especially if you play a mainboard Bog, is just too easy. Thrilling discovery? That wasn't much of a discovery in my opinion. I'm just memeing at this point. I do think that Dredge is very powerful and very consistent. But so far, I haven't dropped a match against the thrilling Dredge lists, so let me know what your experience is against these new Dredge lists with the thrilling discovery. Yeah. Well, we are currently 3-1, and that's fantastic. I don't care if we even win or lose the next match. At this point, it's all just gravy, so if you want to see this last match for content, and maybe we end up getting a 4-1, getting a little more value than we maybe deserve, I don't know, then stick around for match 5. I'll also cover my thoughts on the list at the end of match 5. I'll talk about potential changes to the deck list. So if you're waiting for that, then match 5 will be the video for you. And thank you for watching thus far. I'll see you guys in the next match. This is Red Face Menace, signing off.